What does Latin cuisine mean for me? Well, I will tell you that it's joy.
Latin food is very humble. You know, it's very flavorful. It's intense. It wields spices. It's not afraid of, sweet and sour. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There is something so warming about Latin food. And I don't know if it's maybe because it's the culture, the people that are in it, but it's comforting.
At the end of the day, we're not just serving flan, we're serving history, we're serving tradition, love, and the togetherness that food creates. Flan Factory started with our family's love for food and with my abuela's flan. It was always, at every party, every celebration, everything, every time our family got together, there was always flan. It was her way of showing her love. Flan is such a big part of Latin culture. Growing up, at every birthday, every celebration, family gatherings, there's always flan on the table. My abuela was very sweet. She'd always loved to just make everybody happy. Her way of showing love was in her food. No matter what, growing up, every time we went to her house, even if she didn't have something ready, she'd whip something up in 5 or 10 minutes and serve it to us, The secret of making perfect flan is the patience, the love, and the recipe. Can't tell you the recipe, but it's a lot of love that you put into it. Tampa's Latin heritage runs deep, and we're proud to be a part of that. Knowing that my abuela's recipes are being now shared by so many means a lot to me. And, it's my goal to keep those traditions alive. So it's always good to hear when a customer comes in and says that, the flan tastes like their abuela's flan, because it's a way for us to connect and show, our history, our culture, and just the way that we grew up. What makes me proudest about the current Latin cuisine here in Tampa is that people are using their family's recipes and showcasing that in the restaurants. My abuela would walk in here today. She would first actually go and try all the flan to make sure it's perfect. I'm sure she'd tell me about a few things that need to be fixed, but she would be proud. She would be more than proud. She'd probably start crying, honestly, but she would love it.
I come from Puerto Rico, so food is the center of life in our family. I come from a long line of cooks, so I'm definitely very much influenced by 3 generations of incredible cooks. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my mother especially. I've started my first business with my mom, and it's everything that I do in life. Great women that knew how to entertain. So I wear that and I honor that every single day as a chef. I always say food is your best passport. It transports you to your country, to your heritage, to your family, and it's a great way to share who you are through food. Coming from an island, we also have the influence here in Tampa of South America, Central America, and it's finding that commonality of ingredients. But at the end of the day, I think what expresses very well Latin culture is sitting around the table, enjoying a meal together. That's very inherent of all the cultures that represent us here. How does my Latin heritage show up in my cooking? I would say primarily in ingredients. I do a lot of French-style food. We have a bakery too that's very much European-inspired. but we always give it that touch of our culture, whether it's a guava. By the way, Tampa is the big guava city. That's the heritage that you have here. So we always try to represent that ingredient, whether it's on a pastry, whether it's on a sauce, to pay tribute to where we are. We have passion fruit. We cook a lot of pork, one of my favorite proteins. So I try to intersect both my professional career, but also my heritage in everything that I do. So we're going to be making arepas today, and there's almost like 3 different versions in Latin cuisines. There's the Venezuelan arepa, there's the Colombian, there's also the Puerto Rican arepa. The version that I'm making today is more Venezuelan because it's a great handheld pocket of deliciousness. So it's made with corn, which is one of the staple ingredients across Central and South America. And what I'm going to put into it is that Puerto Rican roast pork style. So I think it represents very well how I approach food. This is what I love to do. It brings me a lot of joy to surprise and delight and entertain. And I think all of those sprinkle of ingredients and love just makes a difference. And I hope that people think of my food as memorable and they always remember it. And then they have to come to Tampa to eat it.
I was born and raised in Chicago in a Mexican household. Both my parents were first generation Mexican. So being first generation American, I had a very mixed upbringing. I grew up in a very, very Puerto Rican neighborhood of Chicago, which was a lot of fun when it came to eating, so heavily influenced by, Latin culture and Mexican culture in particular. One of the consequences of growing up inner city in Chicago is you spend a lot of time inside. You don't really play outside a lot when the streets are full of, just things that are happening in inner city Chicago in the 1980s. So I spent a lot of time inside with my mom. I mean, she would prepare meals on a daily. If I wasn't with her, I was with my grandmother. She prepared meals on a daily basis. Eating at home was the norm. When it comes to Latin food, what that means to me is certainly paying respect to history and where food comes from. Latin food is really good at using a lot of things that aren't primal cuts, for example, or, the main part of a cow or a chicken and, all these offcuts. So appreciating that is definitely, I think, part of Latin food. It's, often referred to as peasant food. It's very humble. It's, culturally important. It feeds basically society. You have to have pressure when you interpret Latin dishes, traditional dishes. You should feel pressure because you have to pay respect to what they were. The way I pay respect to tradition and put my own twist on it is I've been very fortunate to have a career that's spanned over many different countries, and I've had a lot of time to spend time in other countries and eat and cook in them. And so that has always played an influence in how I interpret, some traditional, for example, Mexican dishes. Latin food in general has been influenced by the world, for as long as we know, ingredients from Asia have influenced what happens in Mexican cooking, for example. So, I just try to, keep the core of dishes the same, paying respect to what they are. And then the periphery of it is what I have fun with, I'm a part of a project called Una Más Taqueria, and what it is going to be a Mexico City-style taqueria. So we're going to try and reinterpret that. And we're also going to have some traditional tacos as you would find on the street in Mexico City. The menu won't be grand, it won't be big, it'll be very focused. So I'm looking forward to this project. It's going to be the type of taqueria that I would want to go to and eat. When I'm asked a question about how I want customers to feel or what I want them to feel. I often refer back to a story growing up in my grandmother's house. And anytime you ate at my grandmother's table, you left with a feeling of there was nothing missing. This couldn't have been better. And I often refer to that as what I want to convey in my cooking, is that there was nothing missing here. It was complete. It couldn't have been better. And I hope I am able to convey that in my cooking and my dishes. So yeah, nothing could have been better.
Being the 5th generation of the Columbia restaurant still astonishes me to this day. And I look at my daughter, who's the 6th generation, and thinking my great-great-grandfather came in the late 1890s and decided to open a small corner cafe. Originally in 1903, the one that we know today in 1905, and that it has survived. I think food is such a huge part of culture, and it has been passed down in my family, recipes, tastes, familiar smells, and I think it does always bring you back to your roots. The Latin cuisine is so prevalent in Tampa, but I sometimes wonder if people truly do know how it is. But I would love, especially people visiting Tampa, to make sure they try out a couple different places in Tampa when it comes to Latin cuisine, because one experience in one place is going to be totally different than the other place. So go to the smaller places. Support the other smaller family-owned businesses. I promise them that they will take away probably delicious food, but amazing memories. My great-great-grandfather and my great-grandfather, I think, would be in awe of what has happened. Growing from a small corner cafe to being 15 dining rooms, multiple locations throughout the state of Florida, seeing how much my father, my cousin, and I have the honor of operating this beautiful legacy that they built for us. I have no doubt they are proud, and I'm only hoping we can continue to make them proud.
The best reaction that I see when people try the flan is when they say to me that the flan tastes just like their abuela's flan. To me, there's no better compliment. When you hear that, you know you're doing something right.
What am I most proud of the Latin food scene here is the quality that not only myself, but other fellow chefs are putting out there. It's just great flavors, intentionality, creativity. So I'm hoping people are able to recognize and see that more and more every day.
Latin cuisine in Tampa is getting stronger, and I see it getting stronger over the next 5 years. It's certainly something that's been fun to see, fun to be a part of as well. So it's exciting.
With the first bite that I see people take, I hope that it brings them back to childhood when they're sitting at their abuela's table and taking that bite and just enjoying every part of the food and just being with their family and the nostalgia of it.
My why is to bring joy through food. It's my intention every single day, is that people are happy. Food can make you happy. Food is nourishment, food is memories, food is gathering, food is sharing. But at the end of the day, it's to bring you joy.